Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Come along as I paint a painting from start to finish and turn this blank panel, 24 inches by 24 inches, fairly large painting, into a finished piece of art. Good morning, guys. It is going to be a scorcher outside, so hair is up because I'm going to be starting a big painting this week. So I've got about 2 layers of encaustic gesso on this primed, and I'm letting the second layer dry, and I'm going to put a 3rd layer on, and then it will be encaustic wax time or underpainting time. I haven't decided which. At any rate, I'm taking you along on this journey, but I'm thinking you might get used to me with this bun-like messy hair look because the summer is going to be hot, I have a feeling, and the next several paintings are going to be big. So, all right, let's get to painting. Here we go. For some reason, this large panel gesso was taking forever to dry. I'm not sure why. It's really humid here right now, so that could be why. I also opened a new container of gesso. It's the same brand, but at any rate, it's taking forever to dry. So I'm gonna take my little tiny heat gun and just heat it up just a little bit to try to get it to dry faster. I think I've decided to do an underpainting with it. So, but yeah, I don't normally like to dry this with a heat gun. I like to just let it naturally dry. I think it's better. I don't want to dry it like too much from the top and then the layer is still wet underneath, if that makes sense. It's mostly dry, but it has like just a couple of damp spots. So I'm gonna take just a regular old craft heat gun and take it to the top of this and see if I can't just make sure it's fully dried and fully cured before I do the underpainting. Thought I'd show you the setup real quick for the underpainting. I grabbed out all of the pastels that I have. Not exactly sure, well, I know like approximately kind of what colors I'm going to use, but not exactly sure what blues or grays. And then I did a super, really quick sketch of like approximate proportions of what I'm going to want this to look like. And then of course I have this. Wish this camera would focus better. Okay, there we go. I have the big yardstick kind of thing there, metal yardstick. And then I have my computer with the picture on it over here. So there is the general overall setup of how I'm going to be doing the underpainting. I decided to just finish this underpainting and let it dry completely overnight. That way everything is definitely fully cured before I put the wax down. So we will pick you guys back up in the morning. Good morning. I have the wax turned on and I am ready to start putting some wax down on this big painting. While the wax heats up, I'm gonna do some quick meal planning for next week. It's actually the least favorite thing. I don't know why. Coming up with stuff to eat for dinners is, I don't know, difficult. Anybody else has any good recipe recommendations? Drop them below, please. I am up for anything. All right, I've got the wax heated up. And I have taken my little torch that you normally see me use and put the big torch onto hooked up to the little propane tanks. So because it's such a large painting, it's 24 by 24, by the way, I should say that. I am switching out to a bigger torch head so you can see it's much bigger than the small one. The only downside to this one is it doesn't have a comfy handle. So I have to be careful how I hold it and not to touch the tip after it's been hot, which is why I have these little tins here to put it on and make sure it doesn't catch anything else or burn anything. So I'm just going to take that big torch and heat this panel up. It's been sitting overnight, so it's a little bit cooled off, and you want to apply the encaustic wax to a warm panel. Typically, it goes on a little bit smoother. I got a question last week about having to heat up the underpainting to cure it or to set it. You don't have to do that. I just like to warm up my panel before I apply the clear encaustic medium for reasons. Like I said, it just goes on a little bit smoother. So sit back and enjoy the video. So after the first couple layers of encaustic medium is on, I like to get down to the painting level and see what I've missed. So here, I'll show you. Okay, so I can see getting down to the painting level. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there's not as much of a gloss right up here. There's kind of like a little divot in that area. So I can tell I missed a little bit of encaustic medium there. And it's really hard to tell because it's clear, so you can see right through to it. So you really have to get down to the painting level and look for spots that you might have missed. Just taking some of that clear encaustic medium and applying it over those little areas that I missed, and so much better, so smooth. So I'm just picking out some colors here for the painting, and I don't know if you can see back there is the picture of the inspiration, the photo inspiration behind the painting. So I'm trying to make sure I get some, they don't have to be exact colors to the photo, but I want them a little bit representational. And then I also don't want to do similar colors to what I did, I think it was 2 weeks ago in the video, but the other big painting that I did that had a lot of water in it. I want to make sure that there are two separate paintings. I don't want to get bored with using the same colors first. And then second, I also want to make sure that if somebody's interested in, say, a more turquoise painting or a more blue painting, I have a lot of varieties for the upcoming art shows as well, even though they're similar themed. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I explained that right. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to picking out these colors. So I just spent the last, I don't know, 45 minutes or so rearranging my tabletop here. New camera setup for these large paintings. So hopefully this will work out so that I can have the camera and film and have the griddles accessible and not have to reach over the painting to get to them. And while I was doing that, the griddle came unplugged. So I am now reheating up the wax. It's just been a not a good painting day apparently. Very little production going on. At any rate, I think I am going to make a color that I'm almost out of next, and then I might have to call it for the day. I was hoping to get to the sky, but I have a nice smooth layer of the clear encaustic wax down on the painting, so I'm off to a good start at least, and tomorrow's another day. But first, let's make some encaustic paint. Good morning. The sun is shining. I have the wax turned on, and we're going to start painting today. I'm going to be painting the sky. So sit back and enjoy.
thought I'd explain real quick what I just did here. And I put down some painter's tape and then applied some wax over it. And you can see that really straight horizon line that way. And that tape just makes it sure you get a nice straight horizon line. And up next, I'm going to be applying some shellac that I have put some white pigment in to make it white. And this just gives that water kind of the veiny look, the water splash look, if you will. It's hard to put that into words, but hopefully you can see here with the torch. And I swapped out the big torch for the small torch for this process and going forward for the rest of the painting, because I'll be working in smaller areas and the small torch gives me more control and less of a flame, if you will.
So I think this is where I'm going to leave you today. It is getting a bit cloudy, dark, and gloomy here. It's supposed to storm. We're supposed to have several storms throughout this afternoon, and the lighting in the studio is not real great right now. So I'm going to stop painting, plus I have some computer work to do, I have a newsletter to write, and some editing and computer work to do. So it won't be very exciting for you guys. At any rate, I will pick you guys back up in the morning, but for now, I'm going to turn off the wax and get going on some computer stuff. Talk to you later. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Up in the studio again, and I am trying to get an earlier start. It's going to be hot, which is why the hair is pulled back. So I'm going to clean off the griddle and start a couple new colors on the griddle, so I'm going to get it all cleaned off. And yeah, let's get to painting.
Touches and this painting is almost complete, and it's really hard, I think, for you to see in the camera here, but I'm adding a lot of texture using this white paint, and I'm kind of letting the paint drip off of the brush before I then apply it to the painting, and that I'm working with a cooler-ish brush and some cooler paint, and that just really allows for a lot of texture to come through and just kind of dabbing it around in random areas. Very technical talk here. Anyways, I hope you can see that in the camera. It's really hard to capture, but that's one of the reasons I love the encaustic process is, of course, the texture.
I do believe this painting is done. Close up of some of the rocks there and the water area. I do believe it is finished. Thanks so much for coming along while I painted this painting. If you have any questions at all about my process, definitely leave them down below in the comments. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it. It helps me out so much if you like the video, gave it a big thumbs up. It really helps me grow my audience and get more people to watch videos. So I really appreciate that. If you aren't subscribed and would be so inclined to do so, that would also help. And if you are subscribed but aren't getting notified every time I release a new video, which is usually on Tuesdays, you can hit that bell and that will notify you. Again, thanks so much for coming along. We will talk to you soon, and bye for now.